Hello, hello. Hey, Sinistello. First for today. All right, we've got Cat right here. Hello. I emerged from the void to be first. Yeah, I got to end today by 12. It is currently 8:30. Well, actually, I might need to end a little bit earlier than 12. But anyway, that gives us pretty much the normal amount of time. And if I get done with this one thing earlier, I will be very happy. So let's go and figure this out. There is a major issue, and I took someone's save file and I can replicate it. Yeah. And I need to figure out what's actually going wrong here. I didn't have a chance to look into this yesterday other than to see that there weren't any exceptions or anything. So here's the problem, and this is really bad. If I click load game, I literally cannot build the town hall or the garbage slime or anything. I'm guessing I can do battles. I can't speed this up at all, so I have to wait for this. I'm curious if this part works fine. But yeah, I'm not sure what could have caused this, and I think we'll get some insight into what state we're in, and I'm hoping that that state makes it clear what caused this as well. So customers presumably buy this stuff, right? Yeah, like I have adventurers, I've hired venture. Yeah, okay. So what should happen here? We should show signs when we load from a save file. Where do we do that? Because we don't have the town hall, right? Where's my save file? Town hall. Has built town hall is false. Hmm. So we don't call create, but then what, the signs just don't even show? Loaded from save. I'm guessing what listens for this? Ah, here it is. Loaded from save. What does listen for this though? The town calls into it here. Okay. Should signs show? What is this? If gameplay mode is regular. I wonder if there's some way to end up in challenge mode. This. I'm not in challenge mode though, right? Let's just put a breakpoint here. Yeah, we don't need to make assumptions. We can just verify. But then we need to show the town hall sign. I guess if this person saved and loaded without building the town hall or the garbage slime, then there'd be a problem. Yeah. Wait, but they didn't get the armor shop either. Hey, Smack. Okay, maybe that's the problem here. Oh, that would be really important. Okay, so I think the problem is if you save and load. Uh, Without having the town hall, the armor shop, or the garbage slime. How did I mess this up? Smack, have you ever claimed first? Because you could be in the running. You only missed it by 3 minutes. I mean, it's too late today, of course. Okay, yeah, this is the problem. We just never do this. I wonder if this has been a problem forever. Not just messing around. No, I know you're just messing around right now, but I was curious if you've ever claimed the actual first redeem. Like it's a channel point redemption, but it's only available to one person per stream. Okay, yeah, this seems like it's the problem. Save and load without having the town hall, armor shop with the garbage slime. Yeah, this has to be it. Can I check somehow? I don't think you can. I could probably check, but it'd be very hard to do right now. I don't I don't recall you clicking it. But you certainly could join the little competition. Yeah, wow. So this is just not working, huh? So where do we show the armor sign to begin with then? Because we just don't do that another time. Show shop sign, shop sign. We actually pass one in. This is private. Here's the armor smith one. Show after beating the first boss. This is what should happen. Does that happen? Huh. That should work. What do we call show town hall? Yeah, we should just do this whenever you load from a save file. Loaded from save. Show town hall sign, yeah. And what about show recycler sign? This only happens when you have had an item disappear. And this is looking fine. In fact, so the only thing that's broken now, I think, is the armor shop. All right, well, let's try loading this again. I don't know how the armor shop could be broken. So I click load game. We should see the town hall sign now. Gameplay mode must be regular. It's none. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Okay, well, that explains that problem. Oh, this is really bad. How did this happen? Oh God, how did this happen? Gameplay mode selected. Shouldn't something set this to normal mode? Gameplay mode equals regular. Why is this not being hit? This is loaded game. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no, this is really bad. I don't know how any of this worked. I wonder, wouldn't the demo just be broken for everybody? Oh no. Oh no. Okay, yeah, we need to change this. There's only load game. I never tested new game, and I was always on a debug build. All right, how do you get to a new game? Title screen, new game. Oh no, we set it to regular right here. But that's on, wait, so then loading from the title screen doesn't work? Loaded game. Just transitions. Something needs to set this to regular mode. This is on scene loaded. So what? This is happening after the fact? I think that's the problem. Yeah, because I clicked load game. So I think there were two problems intersecting here. I'm still trying to figure out what the impact of all of this was. Like, did we end up in a state where you literally couldn't play the game? I guess we could just try it. Wait, but didn't I try this yesterday? Sign. Okay, let me quit this. So how do I want to do this? I want to change the power of adventurers so that it's 1,000. So that the rogue kills everything in one hit. So that I can just test this very quickly. Probably should have given myself more money too. So I've already made some changes here. But yeah, let's go through the tutorial. Rogue, send them into battle. All right, this we can't speed up, but we could speed up the battles themselves by doing 1,000 damage at once. It's actually gonna be slightly less, but it doesn't matter. It's more than what the bat has. So yeah, they'll die immediately. Okay, so now we get like 1,000,000 potions. I just keep clicking this button. We do 646 DPS. There's no reason to get all of these potions because I can't do anything with them. And until I get a sale, I won't even have money to afford the garbage slime. Come on, buy a potion. Okay, there we go. Now we put all these in here. Yeah. Wait, we even have this here. Okay, hold on. I think I understand what happened. Let me go check Discord really fast. Wait, I had a DM with this person. What, do I not have their name? Message. Playing, tried switching from that, saved, reloaded. It's been a couple weeks since I played the game. Okay. I think they loaded a saved game, and I think that's the problem. Yeah. Now, obviously, that should not be a problem. But that at least makes sense. I think they had an old save file. Loading the game doesn't show any signs since it doesn't put you in regular mode. I think the town hall sign also may not have shown if you hadn't built it but had a save file. That part I'm not totally sure about. But yeah, this we've got to figure out. So let's return to title, load. So we are showing the town hall sign now, but not anything else. And it won't fix. Wait, isn't has lost an item true? How's this happening? Something's calling this. Something has to be, because this is false, right? Let me put a breakpoint here. We set this to regular. And then should show is regular. So we do show it. So it's only when I quit the game and start from the main screen, you just immediately click load. So as long as you click new game first, it would be fine. Which is very strange. Yeah, it's none. So then what causes... It's not showing. Okay, yeah. So... Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, let's go figure this out. Workaround would have been to click new game and then load game so that the game would be in regular mode. All right, we just got to figure out where this thing's supposed to be called. Set this to regular. The only other place is here. That's on new game. So this isn't happening in time for this. It must not be. I wonder why. I cancel. So I click load. I'm guessing we hit the town code first. Yep, we hit the town code first, but then do we even hit the other code? We don't. We never hit that. Oh my god, what is this then? On scene loaded. So this is never... This is never used, or it's not used correctly at least. Oh, how could I have messed this up? I wonder if I ever even tried this code. But yeah, this is only after we've loaded the game. This shouldn't be here. We need to do it before we've loaded the game, which means we just need it from the title screen. On load button pressed. If gamesaver.load. This should tell us what mode we're in. Yeah. Okay. That should do it. I think that fixes all the problems. Let's go try it. Hey, Phil. Good morning to you. Load game. All right, so this gets hit. That's fine. Then this gets hit. This should be true now. Yep. So let me run that. And then this gets called again. I wonder where did the first one get hit from? Because that's what I need to find out. Let's just rerun this. I think it's working. I'm trying to figure out whether I needed to do as much as I just did here. So where does the first one get hit? This is from build a shop. Interesting. So just having the potion shop is enough. So this is actually not needed code. So then what happens with the recycler? That, I guess, also already worked. And then what about with the armor shop? That's the last thing I think I need to figure out. So I load game. We should see both signs. We don't see that one. That might not have been a problem. Lost item. What's this called? Recycler. Had an item disappear. Is that true? It's not even there. Oh, there it is. False. Okay, yeah. So let's just set this to true. Oh, I guess I need to test both of these. Hey, Goose. All right, so I load. We should see the recycler sign, the garbage slime, I mean. Yep, there it is. Okay, now let's say we hadn't done that. Now we're going to load. It won't show up, but then we should be able to get it to show up by losing some items. So this will take about 30 seconds, unfortunately. I can't speed this up because I don't have cheats on. So we just click this and then repeat the battle a couple times. There, that's it. Now we wait 20 seconds for the items to disappear. And then I'm pretty certain it's going to show the garbage slime. Hey, Xyletics. Hey, did that blog post answer whatever questions or kind of thoughts you might have had? The post-mortem thing? All right, yep, nice. This is showing. Okay, so then the only other question I have here, because I think we fixed this, is what happens to the armor shop sign? If I go beat the ogre, I guess we need to just try this. Yeah. So if I go beat the ogre, we need 35 gold for that. And then I save. We should be able to get this pretty quickly. There we go. Okay, so now we go unlock this and send the rogue in. They'll win in like 2 hits. Good. So now the armor shop sign is showing. Now I hit save and then I quit and I load. Everything should work. Because I think I know what causes the sign to show up. Yes, nice. Okay. Yeah, so this bug was fixed by one thing. One line of code. We don't need any of this. Yeah, that's it. Oh man, crazy, 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 crazy. I wonder where this is coming from though, because it's never even got hit. Oh, it's only if you loaded the game from inside of the game. So if I put a breakpoint here and then I do it from the title screen, it's not going to do anything. Yeah, but if I click this one, it should break in. Yep. Okay. No, this will only be hit if you click load game while already in the game, i.e. not on the title screen. Hey, Jason. I may have more. Went down a rabbit hole, reading and watching a lot of your reference details. Still have more I want to read and watch? Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you had about it. It's not... There's very little that's private about that whole endeavor other than exactly how much money I spent. And yeah, that's about it. Well, at least all I can think of off the top of my head. All right, so fix a critical bug here. Yeah, we got to check this in. I guess this wouldn't affect many new players, but anyone who saved a game, it would affect them. So fix critical bug. Loading a saved game directly from the title screen would prevent signs from showing because the game would think that you're neither in regular mode nor challenge mode. What would have worked is loading from within the game using the escape menu or making a new game. This bug prevented the player from making much progress since they couldn't build anything. Okay, we got to publish a new version based on just this. I'm going to do this right now. I don't want to wait just in case somebody else hits this bug. So I'm on main, right? Yeah, I'm on main. Okay, so let's fix that. And now let's go run the release tool. It wasn't even me who found it. It was Theodorin, I think. Let me see if I'm even pronouncing their name right. I like only vaguely remember what it even was. Thedirian, excuse me. Okay, yeah, Thedirian. I was combining it with some Lord of the Rings name. All right, so we run the release tool. Yeah, thankfully this will all be online and fixed in the next like 5 minutes. I guess that means that the bug existed for a couple of weeks. But yeah, no one really seemed to notice, so I guess we're okay. Or maybe just nobody reported it. All right, so we got to go publish a Steam. How do we do this? Release tool. I got to find the upload to Steam thing. There's some giant thing. Here it is. Post on Steam. I just needed this link. I don't remember how to find it normally. Probably just go to the news page or something. Game update, small update. Let's look at past events. Fixed a critical bug. Okay. Loading the game through the title screen used to prevent you from seeing any signs, meaning you couldn't build anything. It's obviously hampered progress quite a bit in a town building game. This has now been fixed. Please let us know about any bugs you encounter via Discord. Oh wait, you can't do that. I keep forgetting. Okay, so save. We can't actually publish this yet because the build's not online. Upload to Steam, yes. Where are the builds? Okay, wait, cat, come over here. Cat, please, cat. She's like, no, I will resist you tilting me. Oh, it's so funny to see you do that. She knows what I want. Oh. Do you want to upload to itch? Yeah, I guess so. I hadn't even thought about that. All right, so build page, copy, and paste. And this is 086, I believe. Yeah. Okay, I got to do the rest on my phone now. And unable to confirm. Oh, I hate when this happens because it probably worked. Yeah, but I can't tell for sure. Man. Man. All right, let's just open up Steam. The demo thing should show an update at some point. Like if I look at the, how do you do this? Properties? Installed files? Betas? Where do you see the build information again? Updates? There it is. Build ID 19730270. Yeah. So this is not the correct one. We need this to be at a number ending in 20. And it should find it. It says updates, wait until I launch the game. If I launch it now, is it going to try to search for an update? No. Hey, Flare. Flare, it's 2 days remaining. Majora's Mask time. There's some way to re-trigger this. I don't remember how. I think restarting Steam will do it, but yeah, let's just restart Steam. All right, engage privacy mode. I fixed my privacy screen. Now, please admire the cat head. Hello. Just tomorrow left, then weekend. Oh yeah, that's right. You're ahead of me in time zones, so you don't have to go through the workday. You're already done with it. You're a time traveler. Yeah. Then weekend and then train. Nice, nice, nice. It's just stuck on logging in for some reason. I don't know why it's taking this long. Sorry, I can't show my screen until this is done. Who's playing? Now it's stuck on who's playing. Is Steam going through some issues right now? Okay, it's got to be that, right? There's got to be some like Steam problem. It didn't even quit Steam. What in the world? Steam outage report? Are other people complaining about this stuff? Yeah, it's skyrocketed. Okay, well, at least we uploaded to itch. What are the odds? What are the odds this happens within like 5 minutes of me? Well, I guess it's half an hour. Oh well. What are you gonna do? All right, let's try to keep an eye on this. It might have even uploaded the new build. There's just no way for me to know if Steam is not working. But I guess we'll publish this. This might not even work. Just about to put up a new build. I don't know what's down exactly. I can't even log into Steam. So it's hard to know, did the build upload? Is it just login that's broken? Because I was in Steam and possibly I could have launched games. What's the build? Its number ends in 20. The exact number is this. It's of the demo, by the way. Demo build should be this if it updated. It's there. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, then we'll just ignore this. We don't need to look into any of this anymore. Whew. All right, so major issue solved. Let me go message this person really fast. Yeah, okay. I'll just type this on stream. It's not even a DM. So thanks for reporting. Thanks again for reporting this. I've just pushed a fix. The problem is that loading the game from the title screen wouldn't set the correct. I'll just say wouldn't set a flag saying that signs could show. Loading while already in the game would have worked fine, and making a new game and playing from scratch would have worked fine. I suspect this bug has existed pretty much just since I pushed the new demo. It probably existed for a longer time, and no one could have accessed it because they wouldn't have the new demo. Lots of polish. So August 25th. So for 3 days. This bug would have existed for 3 days. I don't think we've had many players during that time, and most of them would probably have one-shot the game, such that this wouldn't have been a problem. Either way, it's fixed. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Whew. Well, that was nerve-wracking. All right, so that's all done. Okay, so where did we leave off? Let's archive some of these things. All right, probably log trade-offs. Make it clear when you offer to twist. Explain what it is. Yeah, this is already done. I did this yesterday. Convert constraints into abilities. Code trade-offs. Make them clear. They're different from regular perks. You know what we could do is work on that twisting text thing. It's totally pointless. I think what we should do is fix a pretty common problem in the game. which is to allow the weapon grinder to be usable. We just need to move it somewhere. I wonder if I should move it to somewhere totally different from where it is. Like, part of my thinking was it should be far away from where the warehouse is. I think we just need to move it outside of the bounds of this thing. Yeah, let's go take a look. Reload. All right, debug, visible collision shapes, start. Okay, so this is fine. The problem is once you build, I guess I got to go to a new game. Once you build the key grinder, so this is the issue. This box overlaps with the orange box, so it's very hard to use. There are a couple of different ways we could try to address this. And I want to do whatever is just the fastest way and then publish a new build if I can. Ideally, we just shrink this drop zone, but it's not that simple. We need to shrink it just for the weapons, the weapon thing. Alternatively, we could shrink it for all of them. Just bring it down to here. I mean, you're rarely dragging from above anyway. But I don't think that's the right fix. I think the right fix is to change it for the weapon shop. There's no easy way to do this because the item shop itself has that box in it. So we need to modify this collision shape. I mean, we could potentially just change the extents of it. Yeah, we set the size at 230, for example. It doesn't change immediately. Did that change? 200? Yeah, it's changing. So we could just set it to 200 for the weapon shop. Yeah, maybe that'll be fine. Is this where I get my free cup of productivity? Yes. How'd the deploy go yesterday? Item drop zone. Okay, so how do we do this? Shop has an initialization thing. It knows what its item category is. And that's done, what, when we create the shop? How does it know how to do this? It's exported. Oh, it's directly. Oh, wait a second. Then can't we just modify this directly? Did we make like weapon shop or blacksmith? What? Where's the set? It's exported, but I don't know. Do we ever actually modify this? If I did, it'd have to be in a TSCN file. And we don't do that. I think it's exported, but it's just never used. Yeah, there's item category and it's set to none. So if I were to set this to weapon right now, that should show up in this search. Yes, it does. Yeah, so we never do this. Then took an entire day to get a simple marketing email approved. Life of so many cooks in the kitchen. Most expensive release notes marketing email approved. Oh, yeah. Well, at least your part of everything is done now. Yeah, so item category equals 1. So if we search for TSCN files, yeah. Okay, so this is never used like this. So let's undo this and then let's stop exposing it because it's pointless. There we go. All right, so that's a very minor thing that we did here. There's somewhere that we set this. Where is it? Here it is. Shop.item category. So we haven't added it to the scene yet, and then we add it to the scene down here. This is kind of weird that we don't just do this in init. Yeah, it is kind of weird. Why don't we do that? What's the point of not doing it? Customize shop appearance. Yeah, this could all just be done in init. That's strange. Okay, let's get rid of that. Item category. Delete this. Put this stuff down here. Yeah. I mean, it'll very slightly simplify this, right? Also, you technically haven't built a shop yet here. Or rather, I guess you have, but you don't have access to the shop yet. So this is kind of strange ordering too. Oh, whoops. I put this on the wrong thing. Okay. What do we break? It's all been fixed now, but in short, loading the game from the title screen would not set gameplay mode. So gameplay mode would still be none. And when it was none, signs wouldn't show. So people couldn't progress in the game. And I just pushed a fix, so it's already been published to Steam. So we're good now. Making a new game in the app for our big convention in November. Took the time getting NeoVim working properly on Windows again. Wow, cool. New game. And that's not a lot of time. Do you guys have an idea? Okay. Also, I should stop saying you guys and say y'all or everyone or you. The hey guys emote on Twitch. It just messes me up. All right, so I fixed some of the code here. It looks a little bit better, but the thing we're still having a problem with is that we need to change the size of this item drop zone. It's collision box. So we get this thing here. Yeah, let's get its collision thing as well. We might as well. Collision shape. I'm not sure how easy it is to change this. Wait a second. Shouldn't this have a way of getting the collision shape? No, it doesn't need to. Okay, so what do we call this? This is like drop zone collision shape. They're mini games. Oh, also this is the whole axe throwing thing, right? Am I mistaking the overall project? Yeah, okay. Private collision shape 2D. Drop zone collision shape. Ugh. The number of times I have to restart VS Code. I don't like it. I don't like it too because it makes me wait like 10 seconds. All right, so for the if item category equals weapon, then I want to change this thing's shape. Get rectangle or something. How do you do this? Oh no, it is a rectangle. No, its shape is a rectangle. Shape. Okay, so this is going to be a rectangle shape 2D, which has extents. No, it doesn't have extents. It has a size. It has a size. So size equals new vector 2. I'll just say fix weapon shop collision shape. Yeah. We'll do this. So this is going to be the rectangle shape 2D. Shape equals this. Shape dot size equals new vector 2. Shape dot size dot x. Shape dot size dot y minus 50. There, that should do it. AMDBM. Welcome back. Did you learn not so long ago? What are we talking about? Oh, did I learn game dev not so long ago? No. The name is Adam Learns on here because back in 2020, I started an edutainment show, which I've since ditched, but I already have the name. So I figured I might as well stick with the name. So you could essentially just treat this as Adam does game dev at this point. Imagine that that's my name. The learning didn't even have to do with game dev. It was a bunch of different stuff. Okay, so this is the wrong mode. We got to go over to here. And we got to make the weapon shop. Why is the sign not showing up? Is there a problem here? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. We need to be over here. And yes, there is a problem. Great, because I have a question. Okay, please don't segment messages, but feel free to ask your question. Giving key none was not present in the dictionary. None. Shop data item category 265. Oh, I changed the initialization order. Customize shop appearance 265. Yeah. Where does this get hit now? Here. Don't I? Oh, I never set the category? Oh my God. That was supposed to be a lowercase I. Whoops. What did this used to say though? Wait a second. What? Oh no, we used to. Oh, I see what we did. I need to set this here. Item category equals item category. What is that defined as? Just a get set. Okay, that should be fine. Reading about some AAA 3D games and their abnormal size with probably unused junk and optimization. How true is that, or what is the problem really? I think I know what article you're talking about, and I think if I'm remembering this correctly, so I think there's sort of two problems here. One is like totally unused assets. So imagine that in this game I have a sprite for an octopus or something, and I just never show the octopus in the game. It's like, okay, well that's just pointless. There's no reason to have that in the build. And then the other is like assets or even code that could have been trimmed in some way. So as just a simple example, I guess even data, as a simple example, let's say we had 5,000 enemies in the game, and we needed to do something like name of one of them is, wolf, and name of another one is red wolf or something like that. You could compress this, and it'll probably compress really well because 5,000 names, there's probably gonna be a lot of common data and overlap. So then the question is like, should you compress it? What are the trade-offs? What is this doing in terms of dev time? So in this case, let's say you have 5,000 names, it'll probably compress well, and you'll probably save some number of kilobytes. Is this worthwhile? And it'll add CPU time. Is this worthwhile to do? No, kilobytes don't matter at this point, right? No one's like, oh, if I only had a kilobyte more RAM, I'd be able to run this game. So this is the kind of thing that doesn't matter. When you're talking about AAA games, you're talking about install sizes that could exceed like 100 gigabytes. So is there a way to trim even 2% of that and save 2 gigabytes on every single player's machine? Yeah, probably. Is it worth it? Maybe. I think the part of the issue with this is that there is a gigantic mixture of incentives when it comes to game dev. So there's typically a business unit behind it. There's the incentives of any individual person working on this, then management, producers, etc. And getting the game to be the smallest possible size or as fast as possible is not as important as our players complaining, are they having fun? So I generally think it doesn't matter too much unless it's stopping people from playing the game. So a good example of this is GTA, I don't remember which one, maybe 5, had some like JSON loading issue, and load times were something like 20 minutes, if I recall correctly. That was a major optimization problem. Like you shouldn't have to wait for a third of an hour to play a game. And then someone fixed it and the load times went down to like less than a minute. So like that's the kind of thing you should be prioritizing. I don't know if that fully answers your question, but yeah, those are some of my thoughts about this at least. Hey, TJ. Okay, did I rerun this? I hope I reran this, but let's just run it again just in case. I think there was another article recently that talked about Unreal Engine specifically. And I think the CEO or whatever was like, people should optimize their games sooner. I think as a developer, premature optimization is a bad thing to do. But I don't think it's premature when you identify there is a problem with the game and you then go fix it. So it's all about, yeah, at what point is something premature? Such a meme moment. I think it's kind of crazy that it even happened. Okay, yeah, so this is my worry. We didn't make these things unique. So I am actually changing this. And if I set this to like 150, it's going to lower this even further, but it's going to lower them for all three. I'd love to push this change out now because I think someone's going to make a YouTube video today and I want to potentially fix this before they even get this. Yeah. All right. This is a problem. So let's go make this unique. Or do I make this? Yeah, I think I make this unique. And then I just rerun and it should be fixed now. And then I just got to figure out what the right size number is. No, it is not fixed. Why is it not fixed? Shape.size. This is unique. Oh, it's got to be local to scene. Isn't there a way to do that? Resource, local to scene. Yeah, there we go. That's what fixes it. I just think it's crazy that no one thought, maybe there's an issue here. Like, why is loading taking so long? That's the craziest part to me. It's like, I get that bugs could exist. In this case, it should have never made it to users because presumably even the devs would have had to wait forever, right? Oh, I started this the wrong way. Okay, so here it is looking better. I think we need to shrink this just a tiny bit more. And we'll just write that this is kind of a temporary solution to this problem. Hey, Curdlefish. So now is it lined up? Yep, it's pretty well lined up. Let's see if it works. It's a junior level bug, yeah. All right, so we need the orange to not overlap with the blue up here. Yeah, it looks like we're good now. Except this overlaps, but I don't think people are going to see that as a problem. So if I try dragging a bow over to here, it works. And if I drag enough of these things, which it's going to be kind of hard to do that, so let's do this. There, okay, we got a key. Now if I put the key here, what happens? Yeah, it says the shop doesn't accept that type of item. So this is still technically kind of a problem. I wonder if we have a cheapo way of preventing this from happening. But it's that the wrong drop zone is getting this. So we could move these upward a bit. But this should have never been here to begin with. So I think that's a real problem. Also, I don't know how often people are going to be dragging over to here. But yeah, we got to move this. It's too entangled right now. Yeah, every other part of this looks like it's fine. All right, I'd like to check this in. This is good. This is good. So overall, we added a few lines, and here we should have removed a line. A couple lines. I just got to write a comment for this. This is a hacky fix to the collision shape for the weapon shops specifically. It's tall enough that it collides with the weapon grinder. The proper fix is just to move the weapon grinder. Yeah. Iterate every item, see if it existed. I think the person who fixed it with a mod built a hash map. Oh man. Okay, so fix weapon grinder or fix like weapon shop collision shape. It now no longer intersects with the weapon grinder. Okay, so now I want to go push a new change to the playtest so that if someone hasn't started playing this yet, they'll get the new change. These were the two most important bug fixes I wanted to work on. Fix weapon grinder drops on this. Probably had, it doesn't matter. All right, so publish a new playtest 0910. I don't want to copy the whole patch notes. Ugh. I guess I'm going to copy the whole patch notes. Might as well be consistent about this. All right, 0.9.10. Just one quick change. The weapon grinder and the weapon shop no longer intersect. So dropping weapons on the grinder should be easier. All right, paste that in there. And then we just got to publish this. Did the confirmation go away? Is Steam fixed yet? It didn't go away. I know this build hasn't finished. Steam outage report. Is it still showing tons and tons of problems? It's on its way down now. But yeah, it hit like 70 reports and now it's at 39. So it's probably going to be fixed. So I wonder if there's a way for me to know which particular confirmation I am looking at right now. 8:52 a.m. Yeah, okay. So now I just need to ignore the one that's from 8:52. Whew. Feeling good. I don't know how this cat sleeps while I'm just like yapping away, moving. She's like zonked out over here. Her face is upside down. Looks very happy. All right, let's put this on the default branch. And 0.9.10. Set build live. Okie dokie. Confirm. Just now. Click OK. Didn't get an error. Nice. Cool. Okay, so that is now live. We just got a new... Oh, is this from... Hang on, let me read this DM. I restarted the game a couple times. Is not able to recreate the error on my end. I see you already found the solution. Now I feel like a curiosity. Okay, nice. Okay, cool. So we are in good shape. Whew. So what do we do now? Oh man. A friend of mine had suggested something. I wonder if he got back to me. No, he didn't. He suggested that... Let me just read the suggestion. He said, increase replayability by having meta progression, e.g. having all classes be, or unlocking classes, I guess. So I didn't get to clarify yet. So I don't know, did this mean adventurers or is it for regular mode? I don't think I want there to be replay value. Well, I don't want to stop there from being replay value, but I don't think regular mode needs replay value or it'd be very fun with replay value. Like, you beat the game once, and then how do we change the experience for you the next time? I mean, there are certainly things we could do that could still allow it to be fun. I'm just not really sure how many people would do that. Anyway, I'll need to ask my friend and see what he was thinking. And also, I think one of the gauges of these things, like ideally, any sort of player who encounters a problem and then has a suggestion, ideally that suggestion would fix the problem for them. So if you were like, this game is too hard, and then your suggestion is like make enemies do less damage, then the question is, would you now play the game and have fun? And I don't think players always make the best suggestions, but at least their suggestion should theoretically fix it for themselves. So imagine if they're like, the game's too hard, and they're like, all right, here's how I'd fix this. And then if you're like, well, would you play it? And they're like, no, I wouldn't actually. It's still just a genre of game I don't like. It's like, well, then we don't know that this is actually the problem. Maybe the real problem is that you just don't like the genre. Like a prestige thing, I'm not totally sure. And even if it were a prestige thing, I want to avoid the typical idle game tropes. So prestige, like new game plus, those sorts of things. I feel like if I'm going to make the main mode replayable, there's got to be some reason for it. And we would have had to work in meta progression from the beginning probably, So imagine you get more perks, or there's more adventurers, or there's more locations or something. It's like, is that even going to change how you're playing a whole lot? The way perks work in normal mode is you just buy all the ones you can afford. So if we put more in there, you're just going to buy more of them. Same thing with adventurers. If we put more adventurers, you're just going to buy all the adventurers and you're just going to have slightly different parties. I don't, I think some people would still find that fun. I don't think it's probably worth putting some dev time toward. What's the average time for a run likely to be? So the demo right now is almost exactly 2 hours. The projected full game is going to be probably about like 4 hours for the main mode. And then challenge mode is where we've been adding replayability. So for challenge mode, I'm hoping it's in the range of like 5+ hours for people. But I don't know this yet because we just don't have that much data. We could see the average playtime. I don't think I've been tracking it. Playtest is here. Yeah. So this has average time played is 4 hours for the playtest. That's pretty good. I have to assume that this is people just playing challenge mode, but it's not entirely. But the most anyone's ever played, I guess, was about 7 hours. Wait, what? How is that possible? Time played range. Oh, that's just essentially the bell curve of this. Because I was going to say there's someone down here who's played for 19 to 20 hours. In fact, a couple people have played for more than 10 hours. Maybe this is actually worthwhile. I don't know. So the game is meant to be played multiple times. So there are two modes. There's regular mode and there's challenge mode. I only intended for people to play this once. And then this is intended to be played like 10+ times. Hey, Remy. That's why I made challenge mode. I don't think the main mode needs anything more. Feels like scope creep. I think if it were something like dead simple to do, it could potentially be worthwhile. So as an example, what if, like, as a feature suggestion, we had some like infinite perks. So you beat the whole game, and now perk levels are unbounded and have some like math formula dictating costs and growth, and we just let you run free with whatever you want to do. Like, that could potentially be worthwhile to do. So fine, get 400 customers, get 300 workers, get a million items per second or something. Like, whatever the game can have and still run reasonably well. Because that might take less than a day to do, or maybe a couple days. But yeah, I think anything more than that is probably not worthwhile. 1 day of work until I have 2 weeks of vacation. Nice. It seems like now's the vacation time for a lot of people. And yeah, leaving the game running. I wonder if Steam does some sort of check about that. I guess it can't know whether you're making progress in the game, so it probably can't have a check. Like, some idle games are intended to be left running overnight. So Steam can't just be like, well, we didn't notice any input, so we're not counting the last 12 hours. Like, you might have gotten 12 hours worth of game progress. Oh, gonna visit your friend and talk about Pokemon in Spanish? That sounds like a cool idea. Oh, bless you. Okay. I kind of want to think about some of these problems. And in particular, I kind of want to think about storage a little bit. Do I have storage written down? Yeah. Because I think the game's in decent shape right now. Last week of summer vacation to try to avoid main season. That's considerate of you, yeah. And I think now is a pretty good time. Right at the border of August and September. So it's still pretty good weather in a lot of places. Not like super peak travel season. Okay, cat. I need my legs back. Could you please go over here? Good cat. Okay. I like how the cat settles into different routines very quickly. Like, one day she sat on my lap and then she's like, okay, I do this every day now, right? So now she just expects me to host her for a bit. All right, best strategy is to put all upgrades into a single adventure. We could just offer higher level adventures less often. Oh, is that Void? Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for the resub. What do we have? We don't have any perks that add randomness. Yeah, so this is something I think would be fun to think about right now. I was playing Slay the Spire, and Slay the Spire has a card called White Noise, which I really like. It might not be the best or anything, but it's a fun card. And if you've never played the game, this will still the thing I want to share will still make sense. Orange Ray, thank you too for the resub. Happy 43 months. So Slay the Spire, being a card game, inherently has some randomness. Like your deck is shuffled, and even if there were no other things that are random in the game, the order with which you draw cards is going to be randomized. So there's already some inherent randomness. But then every once in a while, you get to choose, here is another card option. And you get to pick between, card A, card B, and card C. And one of those cards might be this one. So again, let's just from what I've talked about so far, card game, already you got randomness, because you're going to shuffle a deck. Then you get random choices. So now there's a third level of randomness, which is a card with random in the text. And here you can see that at a random power. So even if you don't know the rules of this game, it's like even just to get this card was random. Then to get the card choice is random. And then this has a word random in it. We don't have this third level of random in Skeleseller. And what I want to explore is how would we do this in a way that makes sense? So as an example, it could be something, well, I guess we kind of have it, but just not extensively. Really have this equivalent, or at least not much of it in Skeleseller. How do we do this in a way that makes sense? So as an example, it could be like generate a random item from any location you've beaten every X seconds. So now this has the word random in it. And when you get, as you get to more powerful locations, you're going to randomly get more money from this on average. I guess another way of doing it is something like there could be a town perk that says get 2 random town perks. So the perk is actually 2 perks, but you don't get to choose them. So that could be kind of interesting. Yeah, it could be kind of interesting. I don't know how interesting it is. I do kind of like the idea though. Perks that change their value every X time units. I think that's possible to do. I just don't know if that's very fun. Like I kind of mentioned this in the past. A lot of games do lightning damage in a way that it's like 1 to a very high number. So the average value is about 300, but you could do 1 repeatedly, and then this is terrible. So for whatever reason, there's like a lot of variance with lightning damage in some games. Whereas the same thing with fire damage might be like, oh, do 200 to 250 damage. So it's like your variance is much lower, but you'll never do 1 damage with this. So I think just randomizing a number is maybe not the most interesting way of doing it. I think there's potentially a way of like obfuscating that number a little bit so that it doesn't feel like, oh, I just got lucky this time, even if that's all that's happening. So as an example, if we said generate a random item, you might get a small blue potion, which is worth 3 gold, or you might get a fiery sword, which is worth whatever it is, 24 gold. If we just said it's item and said, oh, it's randomly this much or this much, it's more apparent to the player, I think. But you might also need small blue potions. One moment are super powerful, other moments not very powerful, being aware of the state of the perk. I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, and I think we need to think a lot about synergies and anti-synergies with things. So a lot of the stuff we have is just purely additive because that's how the game was designed. And then we added these twists, which were trade-offs, but they only show up 3 times per run. Anyway, I do like this idea. I think this is interesting. So I wonder if we could do that. I wonder how hard it would be to do. I also wonder how many... We could have this thing level up. There could be like random town perks. Level 1, grant 2 random perks. Level 2, grant 3 random perks. Oh, you know what? Actually, we can make this a little bit more devious and say level 1 is 1, level 2 is 2, and then level 3 is 3. So if you get all 3 levels, or maybe give a payoff level here too, like level 4 would grant you... Whoops, I didn't mean to write 6. So if you get level 1, it's strictly worse than just picking a perk you might have liked. Although that perk might have been... The other perks might have been bad choices. Whereas as soon as you hit level 2, it's like, oh, I can get 2 of these perks now. And then level 3 is like a pretty good payoff. Level 4 is a great payoff. I kind of like that idea. Yeah. I think we should add this. Like concrete ideas to add. A random town perks perk. This is there. Okay. Note B, make sure we don't grant random town perks as part of the random perks granted. I think I like that. What else could we potentially do with this? Generate a random item. I think also I guess have we thought about synergies and anti-synergies as much as we can? I think some of the most fun discoveries in a roguelike are synergies you typically wouldn't expect. That you can then exploit. So as an example, maybe you got something like crops grow instantaneously, but are always carrots. And then another perk that says each time you harvest a crop, you get 1 gold. So it's like, oh man, you're getting tons and tons of crops, and the crops are giving you money, and then the money is fueling something else. And it's like, well, if you have those 2 perks, it's pretty interesting. If you don't, then yeah, too bad. It also kind of makes me wonder, and this is something we could always do in the future, but let's say we had 90 unique town perks. I think that's too much for any given run. So what we probably do is we split them into like a core set where we say storage, customers, workers, etc. And then we have a randomly chosen set for that run. So we say like pick another 40 now, and those are the ones that are going to be offered. Maybe they synergize well, maybe they don't. But that way you're not offered the entire set of all of them, and then you feel like, well, there's just no way of me getting any depth in these perks. In fact, actually, that's another randomness thing that we could do is like level up a couple of perks that you already have. I think that'd be kind of interesting. Another way, should we do that in addition to this? Like there could be, we could call it like random perk power or depth or something like that. And it could say level 1, grant 1 more level of a town perk that you have. And then this could say grant 1 more level of 2 random town perks that you have. And, you know, so on and so forth. Maybe we just make 1 more level of this. So now you're guaranteed to build up the synergy you already had. Oh yeah, also we got to show a notification or something when we do this. What it shows for you. And a note here would be you may not have any eligible perks. And I don't know what it would do in that case. Like let's say you only have, I don't know, 3 perks and they're all level 4 out of 4. And then you get this, what should happen? Maybe we just don't even offer this to you unless you have eligible perks. In which case we probably shouldn't even offer this to you. This is gonna be a nightmare to code. But is this an interesting idea? Like if I saw this in the game, I think I like the idea. I'm wondering, is this one of those like this is just always the best thing to pick? Because you might have gotten some like bad perk and now it's giving you another level of that. Yeah. Also, we probably should only show this to you after you've bought like 15 perks. I like the idea. I mean, we might as well try it. Hopefully it's not too crazy to code. So random perk. Okay, so this. And then we need to show you a notification about what it chose for you. Yep. All right, what other like sources of randomness? Because I do think this is producing some interesting results here. Although these aren't exactly what I was thinking of. So you're playing through the game. Man, I really want to just play Skeleseller right now. I think it has been fun playtesting it. And yet I'm trying to avoid doing that so that I don't just waste time. So yeah, we're not actually playing right now. We're just looking at what kind of decisions are we making. So glowy fish, more treasure stand, increase appetite. I like the increased depth of perks. I think this is actually really, really interesting. It does feel kind of like you're specializing towards something. So I wonder if we should increase the depth even more for some of them. I don't think we should probably go beyond 5 levels for a lot of them. But like level 5 cloning could give you 10 workers, for example. It'd feel like a big payoff for having chosen this. Yeah, we should probably do that. Add huge payoff. Not huge payoff, but add payoff levels at the end of some perks. So like cloning level 5 could grant 7 workers. Yeah. I think we need to look at all of them. I wonder, could we generate all of them? I didn't think about this, but I think we can. If I just try sampling int.max value here, wouldn't that work? It'll just show us every single perk in some like giant scroll container. Hey, nice, it did work. Okay, so we could look at all the different levels. Well, we don't have the farming perk, so I guess we need to back out of this and go into adventuring. Yeah. Now we'll see all of them, even the farming ones, right? Why can't I scroll this? There we go. Yeah. All right, so let's take a look. So shiny loot, I don't think this should have another level. I think that's okay. Cloning probably should. This can't. This one I think is fine. I wonder if we should change the boost so that it's a curve, not linear. Because maxing this out is probably not ever that important. Yeah, Swift shoes we should probably just rebalance a bit. Change perk balancing. Swift shoes, make it into more of a curve and make level... Oh, but we start you with level 5 in some of these. Swift. What is it called? Worker speed? Worker speed ability. Here it is. Yeah, we grant it to you at the maximum level in this, which is what? Industry, which makes sense. Make it grow. I'll make it grow non-linearly. I'm tempted to change the max level to give more than 100%, but I think we would need to change industry spec so that it doesn't grant the max level by default. You probably wouldn't even want to update it at that point or upgrade it. I think 5 is enough. Yeah, no, I think that's fine. No, I don't know. Let's figure it out later. All right, innate keys. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That could be changed. Entropic magic. Add one more level to entropic magic. That has an 80% chance. Clear rocks, customer speed. Ooh, wow, we already did this for customer speed. It goes up to 150%. When did I do that? And why didn't I do it for this? Huh. What about the potency spells? Where are those? Where are those? There's loop magnet. Where's the It's weird. Where? Oh, there it is. Stocking frenzy. Okay, 50, 85, 125. But then there's also shopping spree. There it is. Yeah, 50, 85, 125. Okay, okay. Yeah, that's fine. All right, where did I leave off then? So customer speed is where I left off. Spicy cooking. Max customers we already have. I already did change a lot of these, and I think they're looking pretty good. Expanded warehouse, seek food. Max fish, special keys, shopping spree. Yeah, all these are looking pretty reasonable. Yeah, okay. So just those are the only changes. And it's only 3. Okay. Well. What else can we come up with then? Other things for randomness. Oh, also, I guess this shows how many perks we really have, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 33. 33 unique perks. And if we just approximate the number of levels, it's like, I guess we don't need to approximate. I could just add them all. So 19, 20. Wait, I need to count. Yeah. 17. It looks like the average level is about 3. Yeah, maybe slightly lower than that. So we probably have like 60 to 80 levels of perks. Warehouse is a tough one to max out in the run, one of the highest in terms of perk counts. Yeah, we could make it so that the higher levels give you more than just 8 items or item slots at a time. But this is actually another problem we have written down here. Where is it with storage? Increase the storage at certain points, yeah. Make it more common, come up with later for storage not matter as much. Yeah, I like the idea of making it so that storage doesn't matter as much. We have that one where the garbage slime can eat right from the warehouse. I think that's pretty cool. All right, so is there anything else we can do when it comes to randomness? Where you're like, oh, this is a random effect, but I really like it. I think something like randomize the enemies at a location. at every location, maybe. Not sure that's fun. I think the fun of a thing with randomness in it is the thought of high rolling with it. And I don't know. I mean, you could have like a super perk that says randomly grant just the positive part of a twist. That could be a nice special reward. I should probably write that down because all of those are pretty powerful. General ideas. We could have a perk or more that says grant only the positive half of a twist. Could just grant a twist that has like a special negative that says this does nothing and maybe explains how you got that. I can't think of any other interesting random things here. And I wonder if part of it has to do with what choices are you making? Like something that there are lots of little things we could do, and I don't think they're fun necessarily. Like you could have every adventure and we could say like anytime you go to battle, you don't choose your party anymore. It just picks one for you. But that's not fun. And if it picks a bad one, if it's like, oh, I'm trying to go to a high level location and it chose this, you would just leave the battle and start it again. Like a lot of this is just, it would be adding tedium. I almost wonder, we could say something like add bosses to every location that isn't the forest. I like that as a negative trade-off. To every location that isn't the forest. This way you're still guaranteed to be able to earn items, but now you have to beat bosses. All right, well, I think we'll leave this in some scratch section for now. I want to think about all these things, but I don't want to feel like we've extracted all of the discussion out of this and got no value out of it. General conclusion, we should add some town perks with random in the text, e.g. grant 2 random other town perks. Hey, Jacksterity, it's going pretty well. How are you doing? Welcome in. Oh, wow, you've been following for a while, and this is your first message. Howdy. Okay, let's keep tackling other ones that are on here. Idle observations. This should be up here. What's going on? What is going on? Why is it going to the... Oh, because it has something typed in already. Okay, there we go. Learning how to use LogSeek. Pretty awesome for organizing all my data and notes. That's the bullet notebook thing, right? Because I think I tried that briefly. And I think I was really thrown off by everything being a bulleted list, even though most of my notes are bulleted lists. But yeah. Yeah, I tend to use Obsidian. Well, I do pretty much just use Obsidian for my own personal notes. It's like the Notion but unique. Yeah. Also, it's open source apparently, which I think is nice. Probably never going to get the rug pulled out from under you. Okay, let's think about this one next. Seems like the best strategy is to put all upgrades into a single adventurer. We could just offer higher level adventures less often. Treasure Room sort of addresses this by distributing loot randomly unless you have a perk. Also, it seems like I've just been ignoring the Treasure Room for most runs. I think we need to increase the building cost. Pretty much just ignored the treasure room for most runs. All files are stored locally. Yeah. Yeah, I like having Markdown and my files stored locally with Obsidian. It is not open source though, so it's possible they change a bunch of stuff, at which point I'll switch to another Markdown editor, I guess. Realize I'm much closer to release than I expected, like 70% instead of 50%. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. You should go to the store more often then. Yeah, you did see a Slay Spire card. I had White Noise open up because White Noise, I think, is a cool idea for a card, but also it has the word random in the card itself. And it's not like it's unique in that way. A lot of card games have random cards in them. But I was thinking, does Skeleseller need more randomness in the form of some of the choices you're getting? And I think it needs some. I don't know how much. I feel like there's some shallowness to challenge mode right now. I think this sort of thing points to a certain shallowness in challenge mode. It's like we need more content, more systems, more variety, etc. And yet we also have to launch at some point. Oh, just 2 more trips to the store then and you're finished. What kind of things do you do in Obsidian versus here? I've got the Y Google Docs command to sort of talk about that. But yeah, a lot of real-time note sharing and a lot of just like, I might want to share this in the future with people. Like some of these you have access to, not this particular one, but like this note you have access to. Not that anyone would ever want to look at this, but it's there at today.adamlearns.com. Reach out to Arixa. I did this, right? Yeah, I did this. Had another twist or two. We did this. We did this. We did pretty much all of this. The goal for this week has pretty much been met. And then I wrote, we got to take some time off. I'm definitely going to need to do that. Yeah, I'll delete the goals for here. This is done, yeah. All right, best strategy is to put all upgrades into a single adventurer. So we have 2 high-level options here. Say that this is fine and just let players do this. Or say that this isn't fine and try to steer players away from this in some way. And that's it, right? Like, we either let this happen or we try not to let it happen. Or just make it harder somehow. Kind of makes me wonder if the way you get battle perks should be changed. Maybe we should change how we give battle perks. At any given point, it's more of a shop with costs. Okay, that could potentially be interesting. So for example, so like right now, you click buy and it always costs X, where X goes up by 5 every time. But the proposal here is you don't have to click buy at all because the 3 options are always showing, but they're priced according to a combination of inputs, how many perks you've bought in total, and how many perks you've gotten for that specific adventure. So for example, you see something like Rogue level 2, and it costs, let's say, cost is 50. Mage level 10, cost is like 150. And I don't know, Paladin level 1, cost is 35. And then these just show up. So you're like, oh man, a mage upgrade, I really want that. And then you could save up for it. But it's going to be like triple the cost of some of these other ones. How was the raid yesterday? Too late in the night for me to follow. It was really nice. I watched her whole stream. And it seemed like she was having a good time. She liked the game. Yeah, it was an enjoyable time for me. Also, this was just like a totally random thing. Like I said, I was just reading the Twitch subreddit and she had made a post and I was like, "Oh, I should just reach out to her." And then she played the game. Like that wasn't on my radar before that. So yeah, I thought it was neat. All right, this is interesting, but this is changing how this works a decent amount. And I think this adds a layer of strategy at least. There is some coding and UI changes we would have to do. The buy, especially to the town menu. I wonder if this is a better idea. I like that you immediately identified your character in game. Yeah. A couple people who watch my stream do immediately identify it. I remember Renegade Pies was playing. He's like, "Who's this nerd? Is this you, Adam?" It's funny to me because it's essentially a medieval fantasy setting, and yet there's a character with glasses, and it's just not something you'd expect to see. And there's only one character with glasses, so already they stand out a bit. I think this is a cool idea. Since now there's a more explicit trade-off with getting the adventurer you want. There's one other problem with this, maybe, which is, oh yeah, we can also add rerolls to this. The problem that might exist is that balancing these costs will be tough. I guess we're not showing you adventurers more frequently than we were in the past. Let me at least talk about the changes, or like, yeah, changes, differences in the systems. You'd be able to see which battle perks are there without spending any sludge. There's nothing else to even spend sludge on though. So this isn't really a big difference. And the cost would change for adventurers that are already powerful. I guess that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, and as a result of this, adding to the power level of a weak adventurer may be a good idea now, whereas before it was probably always a bad idea. Hey, Pretzel. I think this is the biggest change. And this is pretty much what I said here. In the game right now, I don't have the farm, do I? All right, well, let's just go start. Wait, why don't I have the farm? All right, well, whatever. In the game right now, let's pick a couple of these, right? So let's pick that and that and that. All right. So I'm gonna kind of seed this a little bit, and we're gonna pick until this proves my point. Okay. So here's a good example. We are presented with 3 adventurers. The golem is level 1, the mushroom is level 3, and the spirit caller is level 4. Without even looking at what the stats are, what are you probably gonna pick? They're all they cost the same. You just click a button. You've already paid the price. So like you're probably not gonna raise the golem because they're level 1 still. You're probably gonna raise one of these other ones. Like, oh, I already gave them some power, so why not give them more power? And yeah, I think that's the issue that I have here. Is to make this appealing, you'd probably just want to make this cost less. Yeah. Give me a few minutes. No, you said hey, hey, hey. That was zany and funny. You're typing from the Swedish forest. Yeah. So this is one way we could do this system. What's another thing we can do? I guess a slightly simpler thing is just to change the rarities of battle perks based on the adventurer level. Yeah, we could say like start with a pool of all adventurers and even weights, and then sum the levels, and then yeah, base. Hang on one second. All right, I had to sneeze. Base the relative weights. Anyway, whatever. I wrote it here. It doesn't matter. I don't need to come up with an algorithm for this. So the problem is that this doesn't put the choice on the user. So it doesn't change much. Yeah, if we want to make this choice more interesting, we do the first system that I came up with. Is there any other thing we can do here? We could just say it's not a problem. I just don't think it's very interesting when you get battle perks and you're just like, oh, this is the right thing to choose. I wanted the stats to matter to some extent. It kind of makes me wonder, should we get rid of healing received and only show you 3 stats at a time? And you might not get a defensive stat. Thing is, if you didn't get a defensive stat, then you're probably only ever going to pick the ones that make you win battles faster. Like, I wonder if we need enemies to do way more damage than they're doing. Yeah. Maybe we just give your defensive stat here, and sometimes it's health and sometimes it isn't. Gonna have to hit you with the English command to press the. Oh man, I don't know how I feel about this. I think what I'm more repelled by is the thought of having to change all of this and not knowing if it's going to be good. So it could change how battle perks are presented. I'll just paste all this stuff in. Right now you click buy and all perks cost X. And X increases per purchase. Proposal, you don't have to click buy at all because the 3 options are always showing, but they're priced according to a combination of inputs. Number of perks purchased in total, and number of perks purchased for that specific adventurer. For example, level 1 costs 15 or even 5, I don't know. Level 1 costs 5, level 2 costs 9, level 5 costs 20. Then if you get those same choices, like let's say choice 7 could be this, choice 8 could add like a little bit here. Maybe a lot more. Maybe there's like choice 1 and choice 2. Yeah. Be able to see which battle perks are there without spending any sludge. There's nothing else to even spend sludge on at the moment, so this isn't really a big difference. The cost would change for adventurers that are already more powerful. Power. As a result of this, adding the power level of a weak adventurer may be a good idea now, whereas before it was probably always a bad idea. Also, I'd rerolls to this if we wanted. I think this is a better system. Yeah, I think this is a better system. Also, it would remove a button press. Although we could remove that button press right now by just whenever you have enough money for a battle perk, it just gets it for you. Because there's otherwise no reason to do this. I think we also probably want to change how some of this stuff works. Like I said, I don't think healing received is interesting. So I think we should just gut that one. Yeah, so I do think that the battle perk system where we change costs based on adventurer level is a good change. So one other thing that would probably make it easier to tell which stats are good is drop plus X% healing received. It's just not interesting. There's so little healing in the game, and most of it is from the cleric. And then maybe put plus X health in the pool of defensive stats so that it's not a guarantee. That one's a little bit tougher because if it's in the pool and there are how many of these things? Health, fortitude, dodge. This is going to be deleted. So there are only 3. Health, fortitude, and dodge, defensive ones. Yeah, power is offensive, haste is offensive, lifesteal. Do I consider lifesteal to be defensive? I don't remember. Defensive. Where's defensive? Offensive. Shuffled offensive perks. Here it is. Defensive. No, lifesteal was considered defensive. Okay, so then we would have 1, 2, 3, and then health. So yeah. So this would give a 25% chance for plus health to appear. I worry that this will become the most powerful stat. And if there's only a quarter chance of it showing up, then it's not actually that interesting. The other thing we could potentially do is re-roll the stats you're going to get, but I don't think you'll enjoy that. Then again, the treasure room helps with this. So I guess if your adventurers don't have a lot of health, you could invest more in the treasure room. So differences, by having only 3 stats, it'll be easier to compare. By dropping plus X% healing received, the stats will be more interesting. I mean, we should probably just drop that no matter what. It's a very, very simple change to make. We just delete this from the entire code base. Healing received. I think there are, like I said, fleetingly few cases where this matters. It's like if the warrior gets it, it's pretty good. If a self-healing class gets it, like the golem, then it's pretty good. Paladin, it's pretty good. Or wow, that's sometimes this just messes up. And I guess if you have a cleric, it can potentially be good. All other cases, it is bad. And there are cases where, yeah, I guess I guess you might have a party that's like rogue, mage, archer, and witch doctor, and now the stat does literally nothing. I don't think that should be that should be a thing. So either we added more healing sources, which I don't think is going to happen, or I guess there's also the spirit caller, but you need the fairy spirit. Yeah, or we just get rid of the stat. I wonder if there's any run where we will stop you from getting the treasure room. Because if so, you wouldn't have a lot of health. And there's no way to re-roll these things. What if there was some other way to get this? Like you could get a battle perk through some other means. I don't know if it'd be very interesting. And also, battle perks are obtained through sludge. So if we're getting it through another means, we're basically just saying we're giving you wisdom sludge. I guess we are foregoing the cost. I wonder if just having something else to spend wisdom sludge on would be a good idea. I almost wonder, should there be some like traveling perk vendor who, instead of you spend 10 gold and you get random perks, you spend 50 gold on a particular one and it changes up its selection. Hey Luna, if you fail to get the treasure room will come get you. It's not that kind of mimic. It's a friendly mimic. It's not even a mimic, actually. It's just a treasure spirit. Look at this. Look at this thing. That's a friendly character. It's got eyebrows under there. It actually does have eyebrows, which I find kind of funny. Like these pixels didn't have to be there. Oh man. I mean, we could test this out. Yeah, let's just go test it out. Let's see what it looks like. So let's delete healing received and remove from here too. ID is not equal to health and ID is not equal to this. And it's not a defensive perk. And then health perk we don't just always give you. So delete that. Put it into here. Battle perk ID dot health. And then we can delete this. And we only want to generate 3. Yeah, so that'll do it. Let's go try it. Princess Poodle doesn't bite. Is that a reference to something? Or just an arbitrary quote? Ah, I see. It's a reference to the first Bing search result. How to stop your poodle from biting. 10 easy tips that work. Smart. Clever reference. Okay, so battle perks. This is kind of interesting. It makes me wonder if there should be a town perk or a trade-off or something saying that battle perks will now give you even more options. Or we could even just say battle perks get more powerful. It could be a trade-off that we do, though. I think we have it in general ideas, battle buffs. Could just increase stats. Thorns buff, could do this. Don't we have some meta idea somewhere? New buildings. You get one more perk option each time. More battle perks can be rolled at once or maybe with higher values. Battle perks are only offered for adventurers you've hired, or battle perks contain an extra stat. Or battle perks could contain extra stat, yeah. Yeah. All right, how's this feel? It feels like it's slim pickings now. So we pick one of these things. This is going to be 2% damage reduction. We're not getting plus life, so they're just gonna die. You have to click repeatedly to heal them. Yeah. You're shooting little healing darts through your screen. While removing the healing received thing is a good change. I think I'm going to do that. Alternatively, we could only provide it for characters that are going to benefit from it. But then it's showing up in the stats thing for all of the adventurers. Like healing received is there. So I think we should just drop this. Concrete ideas to add. Yeah, remove healing plus X%. Healing received from the game. Move it from the adventurers panel. Move it from battle perk choice generator. And remove it from the battle perk ID. Yeah, it's just not interesting. And I will write down that we could have kept it. I'm not sold on changing health in this way. There's another thing we could do, which is we could just generate 2 defensive perks. And now there would be a 50% chance of you getting health. It's still not 100% like it used to be. Well, let's see what that looks like. All right, so we get health and dodge, health and dodge, health and dodge. How is that possible? Fortitude and dodge, dodge and lifesteal, dodge and lifesteal. Fortitude, lifesteal, health, fortitude, health, lifesteal. Okay, I think that's all the combinations we've seen now. I don't know. I just don't think they're super impactful. I wonder if we should change this system even further. Like another idea for changing battle perks would be to offer the adventure and then make you pick a stat to improve. Oh, nice. Can you make health pack drops scale with character HP? It realistically spawns at low HPs. I'm not totally sure I know what you mean. These scale already. Like 9 health is what's offered now, but if I pick enough of these, like if I just click repeatedly here, we will eventually see like, yeah, 14 health. I think the upper bound changes. So 9 health. We should see some much larger numbers eventually. 13, 17, 19. Yeah, so these go up. So, for example, you are presented with mage, rogue, and paladin. And then you pick mage, and you are now presented with plus power, plus skill, and plus, I don't know, health. I don't think this is interesting either. I think what this comes down to is like, what are we trying to make the player think about for this? And I guess this is a problem with the battle system. Like the battle system is essentially a background system in this game, despite having so much work put into it, and despite that it's always on screen. It's like once you're winning the battle, that's all you care about. So if your characters aren't winning the battle, you'll just go somewhere else. And you might try out some different party compositions or something, but probably these are not going to get you to drastically change things. And in order to get you to drastically change things, I think the whole game would need to change. So this is one of those, like, it's probably just good enough, but it's probably not super interesting. Sorry in advance. I want a retroactive apology as well. I want a sorry for having done that. That way it's like HTML codes for your apologies. Hmm. Sorry for having done that. Okay, everything's good now. Yeah. I think the overall issue is that you're just not that incentivized to care about any of these stats. The battle system is pretty much always in the background because you only care about whether you can win a particular location and then how fast you're winning. The run is timed, so you don't have a lot of room to experiment. Experimentation also requires more tooling for battles, knowing which adventurer is doing the most damage. Concurrent, sorry. That's got to be peppered in between each hello. Yeah, we need a apologizing philosopher's problem here. You pick up your chopsticks of apology. And Pretzel is over there like, yes, it has been done. I've derailed the chat. All I need to do is type, hey, hey, hey. Who knew? To get you to care, I think we would need to change the game quite a lot, which just isn't going to happen. I think I'm the best troll of this chat. Just pat yourself on the back. Good job, me. Three sets of sunglasses. Yeah, I think this is a small issue about challenge mode. It doesn't feel like it's super prominent, but it does feel like, hey, if I'm going to make a choice here, I'm going to prioritize adventures I have, and then I'm going to prioritize the ones that are the highest level. If I ever am presented with multiple that I already have, so let's say I get this, I guess I need to hire at least one other one. Okay, so here I have both of these adventurers. I might consider which stats are best, but I'm probably not even going to do that. In fact, I wonder if we should go the opposite direction and like simplify the system or have other prongs into this system. Oh, thanks, Kevin, for gifting that sub. Welcome now, Pressel. If we should go in the opposite direction and just simplify the stats entirely. Alternatively, we could have other systems plug into this. When offered X% chance to dodge, that number can rise, or is 2x. Why does it look like a thief? It's from the hacking tutorial where I'm a criminal. Hack 2, yeah, it is. I can't recall if you've seen those. Yeah, okay, you have seen it. I was gonna say I'd be pretty surprised. So what if there are meta battle perks? What if every once in a while a meta battle perk shows up? So normally you get mage choice versus rogue choice versus paladin choice. But what if you saw something like this? Dodge, chance to dodge is always offered in addition as a stat. Or power stats are doubled or power offerings are doubled in amount. So like +5 power becomes +10 power. Or what else do we do? I don't know. Battle perks only show up for adventurers you have. Maybe these could be twists. Like increase your power, but cut all adventurers' life in half. Maybe because of the cartoonish face. Like it was a photoshopped smile. And if I'm thinking of the right person, he had like some, yeah, he had a whole bunch of like face makeup that took hours to do. So it's a very cartoonish looking face. All right, I sort of like this idea, but I don't know if this is too much. Also, I think coming up with like proper twists. Coming up with proper twists would probably be tough for this just because there are only so many things we can do. But maybe they could be hard coded. So plus or like 2x power is always combined with um half as much health. Old monitor is killing me. That was just my monitor at the time. Okay, I like this idea. I don't know how I feel about this idea. So, like I said, right now you're presented with these options. I just take a picture of this. You're presented with these options, but they're all direct upgrades to a specific adventurer. So, what if you were offered? Oh, I just like popped the key off my keyboard. Okay. What if you were offered something like this? Choice 1 is like rogue upgrades show up twice as much. Choice 2 could be when offered plus power, get +2 more than you would have. And choice 3 would be, I don't know. I guess there's just stat changes, right? Get an extra stat offered each time. This man won't stop making fun of my monitor. I don't think I have those monitors anymore. I think I donated them. But for a while, they were totally fine. Now I just use a trapezoidal monitor. That's the ideal shape. You want to have your text get like cut off by a giant slant right here and over here. So are these that interesting in the end? I guess you're picking the thing that's going to help you the most. So if you're like, oh man, my rogue is actually really, really good. But at the end of the day, I think what you're going to pick is what's going to give you the most power, what's the most speed. Like that's the stuff I care about, right? I guess let's just tab all these things. They could just be pure upsides that rarely show up. I think I should explore simplifying this somehow. And I want to be careful about how I do this because I think what this question boils down to is, are these stats interesting? Like when you get +4% chance to dodge, you're like, oh man, this is great. Because there are some synergies with this sort of thing. Like the archer benefits from dodge, the tanks benefit from fortitude, pretty much everyone benefits from haste. So there's some thought that you can put into this. But what if we just drastically simplified it all? What if we were just like mage plus 14 stats and rogue plus 13 stats? Is that better? Does this highlight some flaw in the system? Like rogue plus 13 stats, mage plus 14 stats, paladin plus 12 stats. You'd probably still just pick whichever adventurers you have, or whichever adventurers you have that are powerful or something. What if we bundled several adventurers? So like rogue, mage, paladin plus fortitude, cleric, rogue, warrior plus power. This is making me wonder. All right, so to me, this just feels bad. Yeah, doesn't feel like it would help anything. If anything, maybe this points to the battle perk system being the wrong system entirely. If we just randomly chose things for you, then it would result in most of your adventurers leveling up evenly. Hey, Codex. Stats will never matter. It'll always drill down to which adventurers you want and which you want to stack. I mean, the stats matter. They do have an impact on battle. I recognize that at the end of the day, you're looking for like what's going to make me get items faster. And I've talked about it before that we could make defensive stats matter more. And we could make them matter more from the get-go. We could just say enemies do like twice as much damage as they do right now. And then maybe you'd have a reason to prioritize some of the defensive stuff. But you're not really prioritizing in the way that you do in other games. Like here, you're picking this bundle. And I think that's part of the issue. And this is on top of the treasure system. The treasure system is just give you power and life. I think I need to go back to the principles here. The stuff that I was writing for this. Battle system is pretty much always in the background. The run is timed. Experimentation also requires more tooling for battles. So to get you to care, I think we need to change the game. So I mentioned the thing about going in the opposite direction. You need to be able to power up your adventurers. Okay, so you need to be able to power up your adventurers. But how much does your choice matter? Right now, I think the choice is basically which adventurer is already strongest, power them up, and then which adventurer do I have, power them up. Yeah, which is not really a choice. Or at least I guess it's a choice, but it's just the strategy is very one-dimensional. It's yeah, what's going to increase my power the most? Almost makes me wonder if we should have like we could go in the other direction and make this. We could add more stats. Could add a stat like loot finding. Maybe interesting. Excuse me. What if you got bonus rewards for completing missions with your not best units? Sort of like an underleveled bonus. And give an incentive to level up some other adventurers. I mean, the thing we'd have to be careful about remember, this is a timed mode. So like you have like 35 to 45 minutes to go through the whole run. Then it's over. So any amount of experimentation is cutting into precious time that you have. And the balance is also kind of interesting with this. If you have a specifically underleveled unit composition and they're getting better rewards, then you're now incentivized not to level them up. And you'd need to figure out what that balance is. And the player base as a whole will figure it out. So if they're like, oh, keep all adventurers at level 3, like runs going beyond that are actually penalized because of a whole bunch of like math that goes here pretty much. I think that would be tough. I don't think it would lead to fun. But also I think we need to clarify that this is happening. Like, what does being underleveled mean? So now you go into a location and we're like, okay, here underleveled means being level 1. But I guess sending in fewer than 4 adventurers maybe. Or we change the limits or something. So you send them in and then we need to make it clear like you got double the loot because you were lower level. Yeah, I'm still not certain here. So is there any set of stats that could make it this interesting? I think the answer is no. I think it's always going to boil down to this. So we basically need to either stop you from doing this or change what it means to be strongest. I see different breaking limits for stacking stats. We already kind of see it with Thorns. When stacked enough, the warrior goes insane. Also, see a point where enough lifesteal creates a situation where the party just pumps items from a location. That already sort of happens. Like, I've gotten the rogue to be able to solo the Inferno just by having a bunch of lifesteal and haste. It's just that it's not like I specifically chose that, I guess. I just chose, this was my strategy. Like, oh, the rogue is already level 7. They were offered, we're making them level 8. Doesn't really matter what their stats are. Because if they're already the strongest, then making them stronger is just, it's going to be better than making another character strong. Warrior soloed the moon after a treasure chest adventure. The what? I'm not sure what that's supposed to say. But yeah, some of the characters can get really powerful. Yeah, so I think this is overall. Like, you need to be able to power up your adventures, but your choice, but the strategy in doing this right now boils down to something very simple. Which adventurer is the strongest? Followed by which adventurer do I have? We would need for there to be a more nuanced strategy if this decision is going to be important. And I just haven't come up with a way to do that. The game incentivizes doing lots of damage quickly. So the power stats are really all that matter. Oh, I see. We're proud warrior capable of beating literally the world, yeah. Power stats are really all that matter. I mean, this is true. This is so we could make the power stats not show up as often. Then you'd probably pick them when they do show up. Although maybe they don't align with the characters. Okay, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it was a mistake to split it up into offensive perks. Because before I did this, the problem I was noticing was you would run into a choice like this. But let's say these weren't here. I gotta figure out where the pencil tool is by default. N. Okay, anyway, I want the paintbrush. So let's say these weren't here. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so you see fortitude and dodge, and maybe you see like plus health or something. And then over here, you're like, oh, okay, there's actually something that's going to do more damage. You'd probably pick this one just because you see some damage numbers there. But yeah, maybe you wouldn't. Maybe we need like one other stat or something. Only one stat applies to all heroes, so your options would be to buff one hero stat or give lifesteal to all heroes. Okay, I see what you're saying. So instead of seeing rogue here, you would see something like I don't know, we just write like all adventurers plus 5% lifesteal. And that would replace this. So this is going to impact upwards of 10 adventurers, whatever we do. And I'm wondering, is there some stat that would show up there where you pretty much always pick it? Like you see plus 2 power for all adventurers, and you're like, oh my god, I'm just taking that. 10 adventurers, but how many are level 5 plus? Well, I mean, if you have the adventurers and you're getting a stat for them, regardless of where they're fighting, they're presumably going to fight with less downtime now. So Codex suggested having a suggested being able to present choices that will affect all adventurers for a single stat. So you may see something like rogue plus 5 power plus 3% dodge plus 15 health, mage plus 5 whatever thorns plus 4% fortitude or something plus 17 health, and then all adventurers plus 3% lifesteal. You need to be careful because those could easily be the best perks. Yeah. Yeah, especially depending on what stat they generate. Like, another way we could do this is instead of just showing you one adventurer here, this could show you maybe 2 or 3. So you're like, oh man, I'm going to get plus 11 dealt to attackers on 3 different adventurers. But this one's for my most powerful character, which is my mage. Like, some of those could potentially work, although we couldn't do skills that way. We could potentially generate stats for multiple specific adventurers at once. Rogue, mage, and paladin. Plus 2 power, plus 3% dodge. And then mage, like plus 7 thorns. And cleric, some other stats here. Yeah, I think this is the simplest change we could make. So basically, I just put all the perks in a basket and generate them for you, right? So we don't care about defensive stuff. We what am I doing? Grant these and we grant these, then we order those. Okay, so we wouldn't do this. We do need to shuffle them. Are these shuffled? What if you're choosing between stats and skills? Gain 1 skill for all adventurers versus stat for single adventurers. So skills are essentially stats. They're not like I can't load the game right now because I broke everything, but a lot of characters will have something like act faster, do more damage, take less damage, those sorts of they pretty much are just stats. So getting skills is probably always the best. Okay, hold on though. Let's do this. So all we want to do is this. And I guess we want to get just all perks here. No, we're already doing this. So then we just set this to 3 and we delete everything else. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what this would look like. So what we're doing now is we're always giving you health and then just 3 random perks. They might not even be power perks. So let's go see what that looks like. So here we were given power, here we're given power. Here we're not given anything that increases your damage whatsoever. And healing received, I should probably remove from the game. So let's go remove that too. And ID is not equal to healing received. Yeah, because I don't think that's an interesting stat. Although, if I haven't written it here already, we could have kept that for specific adventurers. We're going to write that down. Healing received isn't all that interesting as a stat. There are only 3 healers anyway. Note, we could have kept this stat for the characters who would actually benefit from it. Warrior, Paladin, Golem. Okay, so what's this look like now? So we got power here, we got haste here, we got haste here, and thorns. So in all of these cases, they got some power stuff. Here, this character didn't get any of it. This character kind of did through their skill, but otherwise didn't. And this got power and thorn. So is this more interesting, I wonder? Like, we're generating... You could still pick the mage if the mage were level 8 here, but you'll probably be like, oh, but these aren't actually going to improve damage. It's just going to lower how much damage they take. I think the only way to make that matter is to increase the regeneration time across the board so that you are incentivized to get defensive stats. Yeah, I think we'd have to do that. Otherwise, you'd just be like, I don't want to pick this. This isn't helping me. Or make enemies do a lot more damage. I think we got to do one of those 2 things. So I think the thing I like best for now is this combination of stuff. Remove plus X% healing received, since it's not interesting / applicable and not widely applicable. 2 is stop guaranteeing some number of offensive / defensive traits perks. We can still guarantee that health shows up since it's otherwise uninteresting. Increase power of enemies across the board. That way the defensive stuff is more useful. And what else? Is that it? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What's going on outside? Yeah, I kind of want to try that at least. Is there a perk yet to stop showing adventures you don't have unlocked, or would that be too powerful? There's no perk for that yet, but I do think we could add that eventually. So that other system that I designed, this one, where the costs change, adding the power level of weak adventurer may be a good idea now. So did we do the same thing here? Like, would you ever want to pick a weaker adventurer now? I still don't really think so. So I'm not sure that even this is worth doing. Yeah. don't know what it is. I wonder. What if, okay, I'm just gonna keep spitballing here for a bit. I think the problem with this set of choices is that you would still probably pick your highest level adventurers. You're gonna tend to pick your main party regardless of the details and the stats and push for that party. Yeah, that's what I think. And at that point, it's just not worth changing this at all. Although I think no matter what we're doing this, I just don't think the healing received is interesting. But that's a very minor change, and that should take like 10 minutes to do. The problem with this is that you would still pick your highest level adventurers. So there was one other idea that struck me. What if you what if we put the level up button? Actually, I guess that's how we would do this, right? If we were to make this idea work. If we wanted, we could just put the level up button back into the adventures panel and have a cost for each one, but just give random stats. I think if we let you choose stats or let you choose skills, it'd be problematic because you'd find a best build and then you'd always be able to enact that build. So if you're like, oh, well, the cleric is really good when you get this skill and this skill, then you just put your skill points into there and it wouldn't be very interesting. If the selection was the only ones I'd unlocked or more options to choose from, then I'd take time to consider which option is better. I don't know if you would, though. Right, you can only have 4 adventurers in a party. So if you were presented with like 5 options here, wouldn't you still just see like, oh, my whole party's there now. So I'm just gonna pick whichever one was highest. Maybe you would take a little bit more of a look. I also didn't want this to be overwhelming though. So like you have 4 options here and now you have to read through all the stats and see what's best. In fact, I almost wonder if we should simplify this too and only show you 2 options. It's not going to change the strategy, is it? I'm trying to think. Because the base game, I think everything's working just fine. I think this is only potentially a problem in challenge mode. And I think the idea of powering up is still interesting to me. Like as I'm going through a run, I do like seeing some of these things stack up and seeing how powerful the characters get. But I am not reading these too closely. I probably actually am. But I'm mostly making the same decisions every time. Like seeing this was pretty exciting the other run. Like, oh, I get an attack ability finally. So I think the skills are interesting. Maybe we should just always give you a skill. How many points does each character have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, like what we could kind of do is suppress the level we expect you to get to. Although they're always getting skills, and I guess they're always maxing out all their skills, which is then probably also not interesting. Right now, it's I think 40% of the time they would get a skill, which means that you might get to level 10 and have a bunch of skills, or you might have gotten unlucky. But never mind. I don't think I agree with what I just said right there. I still think approaching this from the systemic point of view is probably what's best. You need to be able to power up your adventurers. The strategy of doing this right now boils down to something very simple. Which adventure is the strongest? Which adventure do I have? We need for there to be a more nuanced strategy if this decision is going to be important. I just haven't come up with a way to do that. So, all right, let's maybe ask this question. if we wanted, if we didn't want the main strategy to be what is your strongest adventurer, how could we change that? So some ideas that I have were make it cost more when you pick an already strong adventurer. 2 is make it so that the power boost of weak adventurers is greater than what a strong adventurer would get. Create scenarios where the player needs to spread the party to many locations. That's already there, I feel. There already is a reason to go to different locations. So that part I think is fine. E.g., leveling up a level 10 character costs 50, but a level 1 would cost 10. Your level 1 character is offered plus 10 power, but your level 10 character is only offered plus 5 power. All right, what else? What else? There could be trade-offs. Could be trade-offs as you get stronger. I guess that's what this is. This is a trade-off in terms of cost. Trade-off could be the cost. The trade-off could be some other stat. Leveling up a level 10 character gives plus 10 power, but minus 20 health. At the end of the day, what I'm concerned with is that we're going to make it, we're just going to disincentivize you from getting beyond a certain level. Like I said, the game is either going to incentivize you to sort of push party members so that they're outliers in strength, or it's going to incentivize you to keep them all sort of together. Don't want a system to kind of, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So I think maybe there needs to be some other system getting involved in this somehow. And that's where I'd come up with the idea of meta perks. This is what the meta perks were sort of supposed to be. The occasional battle perk gets converted into something like future choices offer plus 2 power more than they would have. That way the synergies will make themselves clear as a run progresses. So what interaction points could we do? And part of this was, okay, if we buff enemy strength, you might need more defensive stats, but you're probably still not going to prioritize those. You're probably still just going to go with offensive stats and then just go to a lower level location. That's pretty much what's always going to happen. And we have another change too, where we could allow 5 adventurers in a battle. And now getting more adventurers is incentivized. Or 3 adventurers in a battle, and then, yeah. So if we wanted to encourage you to spread out your adventurers more than we already are in the game, we could artificially incentivize it. We could say something like perk when all of your battle parties are fighting at different locations. Some reward happens, some positive thing happens, like more loot, faster battles, etc. So this is an artificial way of just saying like, oh yeah, you just this is just a thing in the game. Could open up a shop to buy from a random selection of meta perks. I was wondering, like, what if you could pump up a perk as it's being presented to you? Could augment a perk after it was presented to you. You see something like rogue plus 2 power, and you can spend 50 sludge to double the value to +4. Or maybe not double the value, to just change it to +4. We shouldn't say what the manipulation was to get to that. Just now it's 2 higher. But I don't think this changes it either. We need it to be that you want to, in some cases, it's for you to want to power up another adventurer that isn't your strongest. Again, there are other artificial ways of doing this. Like every battle perk you get for an adventurer you don't have does something for you. I don't know what. All right. I probably need to get going in the next like half hour. Also, this is one of so many different things that I had on this list. Yeah, things like storage perks don't show up as much. We need another enchanter spell. I mean, some of these aren't actually too bad, I guess. But yeah, there's some bottlenecks that you can't really address, like getting better perk choices. We do a re-rolling now, though. I want to put a tiny bit more thought into this, though. I feel like there's something here that's going to work. I just feel like the game is a bit constraining when it comes to this, in that battles are largely ignored. It's just bizarre, I guess. And I wonder if we should change the battle system for challenge mode. Maybe there isn't a way that's so hard. I thought about this a while ago, but hey, Tigger. Welcome in. Are you named after the oh god, what's the name of that I can pick Winnie the Pooh character. I was like, I can picture them all, but what Charlie Brown was coming at to my mind. Could force players to use different adventurers by making enemies resistant to a few of them. Yeah, so again, like an arbitrary rule, like, oh hey, you fight in different battle locations and you're gonna get better, or yeah, the cleric is bad against these characters. So yeah, one change we could make to the battle system is that adventurer life could persist, or adventurers don't regenerate until they've fully died. This would do really bad things for UX. Yeah, this is probably not the way to do this. I don't know if there's some other way to do this, though. What if... Wait, what if there was some endless battle, and every time you won, it went up in difficulty, and every time you lost, it went down? This would naturally lead to every party having an equilibrium. But that equilibrium would be at a different difficulty level depending on their power. What does that even do for us? It just prevents micromanaging. All right, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any great ideas. There was a question that kind of sparked something. If we didn't want the main strategy to be what's your strongest adventurer, how could we change that? Trade-offs as you get stronger. Some other system. That way the synergies will make themselves clear as the run progresses. Yeah, so there need to be synergies with raising up other adventurers. I guess one kind of way of doing that is actually just restricting how many adventurers you can have per party. What if we lowered the overall number of adventurers per party? to 3 by default. That would encourage you to split your adventurers. Require certain stats to farm up. I think what's going to happen with bosses is people will only attempt them when they know they can win. Because again, experimentation has a very high cost in this mode. If a battle takes 30 seconds and then you lose, you just lost 1/90th of the run where they could have been doing something. And all the expenditures snowball. And I get that there's some like risk and reward, but the risk and reward is it's time based, which I don't think is as interesting. So this is kind of neat. So this would make it so that your main party is necessarily smaller. It would typically have been 4. So now you may naturally want to level up more adventurers. We could increase the maximum number of battle windows to 4 as well. And then the problem is with the twist that only allows 2 adventurers per battle. 4 times 2 is less than 10, which is the maximum number of adventurers. 4 windows times 2 battlers per window is less than 10. Yeah. 12, 15. Okay, cool. Previously subbed for 1 month. Darkest solid. Okay, this is a pretty interesting proposition here. We only let you have 3 adventurers in each party. When your twist is +1 battle window, but -1 adventurer. The twists right now are randomly generated, so we would need to forcibly generate that. But what we'd probably do is maybe we say something like, you always have enough battle windows to use every adventurer. It may not be in the way you want, but it would at least be possible. So if your max is 2, then you could have 5 windows open. But otherwise, we don't allow that. Alternatively, what if there were just adventurers you couldn't use? No, that's probably stupid. I wonder how hard it is to change the number of battle windows you can have open. We presumably have a 3 somewhere, right? Yeah, what if we just change this to 5? Ideally, this works. I wouldn't expect us to have to change more. The problem is when we dynamically change this. Right now, it's a constant. So we need to figure out where this is being used and then pull it from somewhere else. But yeah, so let's go make an instance and then make another instance and then, oh. What? Oh my God. Okay, there's a cheat that I have called create instance here. And the way that this works is if you don't have an adventurer, it gives you infinite money and then hires an adventurer and then removes the infinite money. And in granting infinite money, we win. Okay, let's just ignore that. Let's just go back into this and not click that button. So we'll do it this way. Oh, because I'll click the button, I guess. We just can't. No, this is stupid. What am I doing? All right, let's just start 5 battles. Yeah, I was trying to simplify this. It's not worth it. So that's 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 battles open. We can undock them all. We can shrink them all. And then we can move them wherever we want. Man, this is a lot happening. Yeah, this is a lot going on. And since they're only fighting in the forest, the amount of loot I'm getting is crazy. Okay, this might be a good change. Let me see. No, this is gonna help me. I just wanted to. Nah, I don't know why I'm even playing this out a little bit. There's no need. All right, drag some bows over there. Wait for a potion. I might as well just get the final another worker. There we go. Look at him go. It would be kind of interesting to see if you could win a run entirely by just fighting in the forest. All right, one more town perk. Hardworking adventure is nice. Now they can all move stuff. They aren't just standing around doing nothing. Okay, well, I think we should probably try this. And the other nice thing is I said all this stuff about enemies doing more damage. This is sort of like having them do more damage because you just have fewer adventurers to tank. It changes synergies as well. All right, I think I want to try that. Who knows? Maybe it's a dumb idea. So remove this from the game, and then let's also say make the default number of adventurers, default max number of adventurers per battle 3 instead of 4. Rationale, this should make you not, well, I don't know actually. Will it change anything? I should probably think about this a little bit more. Yeah, maybe it won't actually change anything. I should probably just do a test run with that as the case. Yeah, I'll write that. Test a run with the max adventurers set to 3 and the max number of battle windows set to 5 to see how it changes my decisions. The main question is, do I prioritize adventurers who aren't my strongest at some point? Does it change the game in a meaningful way? We decide to move forward with this. We need to come up with the correct number of battle windows to allow the player. There's a twist that lowers your number of adventurers per battle by 1, which would mean only 2 adventurers per battle. Nope. The cat is right here next to me on her own little chair, and she just like tilted her head down. Can't stay awake, can you? I encourage you to split your adventures. Okay, so this may not encourage you to change the level up strategy though. I wonder if we should combine it with the whole you just get random perks and they don't necessarily have power. So let's build a farm. And yeah, so this is this is, this is, this is 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 So like the rogue is my strongest. And a chance to dodge, lifesteal, damage out to attackers. This is probably still best. I pick again, and okay, now I was offered power, so this again is still best. Yeah, I was not offered power, but still probably taking this no matter what. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna always pick these things. I don't think randomly not getting power changes that equation. I'm trying to see if it ever has, and at least in practice so far it hasn't. There I wasn't offered the rogue. Like here I'm given haste. Haste is at least more power, basically. Yeah, here I was offered, I'm not even looking at those. I'm trying to find a more compelling problem example. No, still offered power. Yeah, I don't think it matters. What's the average gold from items in the forest? They're all worth 3. I don't remember how many items you get on average, but I think it's like 3 or 4, maybe. Probably 3. Maybe even less than that. There I just got 4. There I got 4. There I got 0. So let's see. We got 10 over 4 trials, so 2.5. Then we got 5. So it's 15 over 5 trials, so 3. But yeah, it's probably somewhere between 2 and 3. Which means it's probably on average you're getting maybe like 7.5 gold. But you need to sell them. And selling them is obviously a problem here. Like we can't possibly get rid of all of these items, even if we're like stocking the shops constantly. Everyone's waiting with bows over here. Bozos. Different adventure limits, +1 per battle. Free guild supplies. Customer speed, sounds good. Increased appetite for the garbage slime I don't have. There's the garbage slime. So automatically eating would actually be pretty interesting in this mode. Working in the warehouse or something. All right, so the change to power and how perks work, I don't think is very interesting. Yeah. I tested a change to the code so that all perks would be, or all battle perks were granted randomly. We might as well copy the code, right? Battle generator. Copy this over to here. Go change this. So here are the defensive ones. These are just shuffled perks. Get rid of this. And there's the code for it. Okay. So set this to console. Let's just make it smaller. And it doesn't really have an impact. I would still choose the highest level adventurer. Also, most of the time, I would still get some power related perk. Because there aren't that many defensive ones, right? So the odds of getting, if you're choosing 3 out of, I don't know what it is, like 7 or 8, the odds of you getting one of the power ones is still pretty high. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I should get going. I pushed some builds. That's the output of today. And I did think about the game design. Honestly, this is like the true meaning of bricklaying that I talk about every once in a while, which is I spent whatever it was, right? 2 hours maybe talking about game design. I don't feel like I came to any great conclusions. So it might feel like, well, that was a waste of 2 hours. I don't think so. I think exploring this territory is now putting me further ahead in the future when I come to design this. So yeah, we'll hope that that's actually true. Pushed a fix to a major, pushed fixes to a couple of bugs, and then spent the rest of the time doing game design. There's an undercurrent here of something that I haven't really explicitly said, which is I think challenge mode is fun. And I don't think it necessarily matters if every individual aspect of this is as like maximum fun as possible. But it does worry me that something like this is almost like a throwaway system. It's like, oh yeah, I'll just pick the thing with the highest number. And if that's all that's going to be done anyway, then like why give the player the choice? There is still some amount of choosing here. Hey B. Thanks again for the stream yesterday. I saw you were streaming artwork afterward, and I tuned in briefly, and I wanted to hear more about what you were talking about, because I think part of it had to do with like identity as a streamer and being an entertainer and everything. But unfortunately, I just had so much going on. Yeah, I had some errands I needed to do, and then there were some things I needed to follow up with about Skeleseller. But yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad to see that you had fun. Something I mentioned, I think, in your stream, and you're welcome to take me up on this or not. It's totally fine. I won't feel any particular way one way or another. It doesn't matter. But you only had new game, load game, and quick game in your title screen. This challenge mode is in the playtest version. And this is the big thing that I've been working on that I want to get some more feedback on. So if you want to get access to this, oh yeah, I did a video. Okay, yeah. If you want to get access to this, I would be happy to grant you a Steam key, and then you could try out challenge mode. The main difference is that it is a mode where you can lose. So the original game is laid back. You can take 2 hours, you can take 10 hours. It doesn't matter as long as you're having fun. In this mode, I guess having fun still matters. But if you were to just sit around, you would eventually see a you lose screen. And if you get enough money, you'll eventually see that your business succeeded. And the main way that you play this mode is by getting sort of random choices and picking what's best. So maybe you don't have enough customers and you pick this option. And maybe next time around, you're like, oh yeah, I have the fishing pond. I want that one. But even with buildings, it's the same way. Like you don't get to pick a specific building. You don't get to pick a specific adventurer. And even with the perks for the adventurers, which is what we were talking about earlier here, you just pick like, okay, which adventure do I want to level up? I want to try a speedrun. Okay, well, how about this? I'll send you an email. Let me write this. Email B with a playtest key. Actually, you know what? Would you mind joining the Skeleseller Discord? It'd be easier for me to just DM you. It's the second Discord there, by the way. I have 2 different Discord servers. Hey, Soli. So yeah, this Discord one. I'll join it. Okay, yeah. That'd be best. So I'll say instead of email, DM B with a playtest key. Yeah, and then if you don't have, excuse me. Oh man, something was caught in my throat. If you don't have DMs enabled on Discord, send me a DM so that I can at least send you the key, because that needs to be private. But then the rest of the stuff I can tell you publicly, which is pretty much, I guess I might as well just link it in chat now. There is this document. As far as joining, it's going to be I just DM you the key. If you need help setting up the Steam key, there are instructions here. The rest of this you can pretty much just ignore. But the important thing is, I am looking for feedback on this. I want people to be honest. If you do end up trying this mode and you're like, this is not fun, or it's too hard, or just something, any of that stuff, feel free to tell me. You don't need to sugarcoat anything. You can just say like, oh, chaos mode sucked. It was too random. And yeah, that's fine. Some rough math to win with only forest battles and 5 adventures. You need to complete each battle under 1.8 seconds and somehow not lose any items. Lowest difficulty. We would change things somehow. Also, there's probably a way you could get shiny loot, and then you could get like plus 40% loot value. You could get the garbage slime and crits, and then you can get even more value per item. Like 3 gold might turn into, I don't remember how much exactly, but maybe like 9 gold with a crit. And plus 40% no matter what would also be pretty helpful. So maybe it's doable. I don't know. Anyway, I need to get going. My wife is back from her vacation, and she was the one messaging in chat earlier. So I've got to go pick her up, and I'm looking forward to seeing her again. I'm going to go find someone to raid. I will not be streaming again this afternoon. So thank you all for being here and watching. I see Janet streaming in the mornings, and then she ends before I have a chance to raid her. And she raided me like 2 months ago now or something at this point. And I've been like, I need to raid her back. But yeah, she's not online. Let me see who else is online. Okay, you know what? I'm actually not going to raid right now. Yeah, because I want to make sure I'm getting going on time. And also I want to like stick around usually for raids. So I will actually just end the stream. But I will be back online tomorrow. And I'm not actually sure what we're going to be doing. And then probably after that, it's going to be some vacation for myself. I've been working super hard on challenge mode and I just need to take a break, I think. So yeah, tomorrow should hopefully be a normal day. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. Have a good rest of your Thursday. See ya.